This is a short video about my frustrations in trying to use iTunes and iCloud to download album tracks when you may have already purchased singles from a related album. Okay, so the album I'm talking about, the album in question, the one I'm talking about today, is this album by Kendrick Lamar. So you can see that this album is kind of listed as being kind of partially bought. That's what this blue icon and Complete My Album refers to here. I have originally purchased tracks 2 and tracks 5 from this deluxe extended edition of the album some time ago. Now, iTunes had a sale on and they released the non-deluxe edition, the standard edition, for $4.99. So having already bought a couple of the tracks, I thought, yeah, I'm happy to pay the difference. So I purchased the cheaper version of the album, and this is where my problems started to manifest. So if I go to my music library, you can see that what is missing from the Good Kid, Mad City album, from the non-deluxe version, are tracks 2 and tracks 5. I've also bought these bonus tracks as well, but I can't find a way of getting these tracks, the ones that I bought. Bearing in mind I've bought this full album for $4.99, including tracks 2 and tracks 5. I can't find any way within iTunes to download the tracks for just this album, the non-deluxe edition of the album. So I go into my purchased albums that are not on this machine, not in my library. You'll see that neither of these albums are available. None of the tracks from these albums are available, hence the cloud icon. But I should be able to download all of them by clicking on the iCloud. And we can see that through this dialog box that's popped up that the album tracks are now downloading. This should take maybe a couple of seconds to complete. I'll just drop this down here and jump into my music library. We should be able to see that the iCloud icon is slowly vanishing from all of these tracks. What it's not doing, which is the thing I find really annoying, really frustrating, is it's not bringing the other 2 tracks that I have also paid for, tracks 2 and tracks 5. It's not bringing them down at all. So in order to get these, I have to click on the deluxe edition of the album. Now, the problem here is that if I go into that album, what's it called? Good Kid, Mad City. If I try and find this album, where is it? Here it is. If I try and find this album, it's still not going to play those tracks. Now, this is quite frustrating because this album is a kind of sequential album. Tracks run into each other. It never really stops, particularly at the early half of the album, and it's a bit of a concept album in that respect. So it's quite annoying that this service you've bought and paid for is unable to connect the 2 different versions of the album together. And the only way you can really do this, the only way you can actually get the tracks to play in the correct order, is if you create a playlist, which is less than ideal, really. So I could create this playlist, drop the 2 tracks in question in, and then move these around. They're there in the correct order, but I shouldn't have to do this. That's my gripe. I shouldn't have to do this. I've actually paid for the deluxe version of the tracks and the non-deluxe versions of the tracks, and I would actually prefer to have the duplicates in my library and just delete the deluxe version and have the capacity for the album to play in a sequence. And if anybody knows any way around this problem, I would love to hear from you and love to listen to what you suggest I do.